Alec Rowley, followed by Sandra White.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. As a councillor, the highest caseload that I run with was all relating to housing issues, and I've found, as an MSP since January, that the highest caseload I have now in dealing with constituents' issues is housing. And the fact is that we do have a major housing crisis out there that needs to be tackled, and I can come back to that. But it is the case that I welcome what's been proposed today in terms of the bill that's come forward. I would congratulate Maureen Watt and the committee for the work that they have done, because I think some of the stuff that they've brought forward looks to bring about improvement. I would also, I was pleased to hear Jim Eadie talk about the Shelter Scotland proposals in terms of removing from the draft bill the social landlords discriminate against future tenants based on age. I think certainly in Fife there is local letting policies, and local area committees are able to determine them, so at the local level it seems most appropriate, and I certainly would support Jim in bringing that forward. In terms of temporary accommodation and strengthening the existing protection for families with children, I did experience 2 Decembers ago a family, a young mum and 3 kids, stuck in temporary accommodation above a pub for 2 months coming up to Christmas. It was totally unacceptable. I'm told that it wouldn't happen again in Fife, but we should make sure it doesn't happen and that young families have the opportunity to question that. So in terms of these proposals that's brought forward, I would also pick up on the point for Bob Doris, because I think absolutely it's about having ambition in terms of housing and not simply being told that your housing requirements, you're adequately housed and therefore you're stuck in a flat or whatever. And actually, if we've got some flexibility there, and I hope the Minister will take on board the points that Bob makes, because they're absolutely valid points. You know, I was born and brought up in a council house, and for years it was my mum's ambition that we would move further down the street into a cottage in Kelty, and eventually we did. That was the reality at then, so it should be about choice for council tenants, not a position of last resort. So I welcome the proposals that have come forward, and I welcome the debate that has taken place today, and particularly the private sector. But I would say, if local authorities, it's not just about having discretionary powers to try and intervene. I've dealt with many cases over the years of private landlords, and while there would no doubt is good private landlords out there, there's also a lot that leave the condition of their houses in a state that's unacceptable. And when you meet families that are having to live in those conditions, so local authorities need to have the powers to be able to act and be able to recover any monies if they're forcing private landlords to actually get the work done that's necessary within those houses. And I would also appeal to the Minister for that point of view. But the bottom line is that all said, and people coming to my surgeries tomorrow with housing issues, is that there is not enough housing to go around. And that's why I do support Shelter in their campaign for an additional 10,000 socially rented houses to be built a year. It's important, I think, that we do build houses. In Fife's case, they were able to work with tenants, raise the funds, and they now have a plan in place over the next 5 years for 2,700 houses to be built in Fife. We need to get a partnership with local authorities to build more houses. In 2013, at the end of March, there was 151,000 people on the waiting list in Scotland. There were almost 32,000 households that were accepted by the local authorities as being homeless, and there were over 18,000 children in households accepted as homeless. That is the type of crisis, and that is the crisis that we do have in Scotland. Now, I know that the Scottish Government has set targets in their manifesto for 6,000 affordable homes, but originally they talked about 6,000 socially rented homes. And I think that is the key, and that is the fundamental. We can welcome the bill and some of the stuff that's been put in there, but imagine if we could build party unity and real ambition right across Scotland. I'm ambition that we tackle the housing problems that's out there. We build new houses, and that then creates a chain and frees up so that people can get meet the housing needs that they actually have by signing up and looking at the 10,000 new houses per year and put the resources in to do that. And I think that's the way forward. It's about being ambitious, having an ambitious housing programme, a national housing programme for Scotland, sign up to Shelters campaign, 10,000 socially rented houses per year. Let's start moving forward and we'll tackle the housing needs in Scotland.